I'm going to show you 5 RVs and you're going to be able to decide which one is going to excite you in retirement. And I'm going to tell you right now why I'm doing this. I have a client who told me they wanted to buy an RV in retirement, but they didn't want to buy one that was going to jeopardize their ability to meet their other financial goals. They wanted to help provide a down payment for a child. They also wanted to make sure that they could travel aside from their RV. So we had a long conversation, and by the end, I could tell they were really feeling down because they were confident that if they bought the RV they really wanted, they could still attain their other goals. I said, just dream big. What's the real RV you would love to purchase? And they said, to be honest, it would be about $150,000. I said, okay, it's not my job to say whether or not you can or can't do that. It's my job to quantify the trade-offs, run the numbers so you can see if it's realistic or not. And they said, okay, we're ready to see it. But they were really not confident. And this is what I showed them. So check this out. You can all run this scenario for you if you'd like as well. So this couple, Frank and Lisa, 55 and 47 years old, this is their current financial plan. They are 54 and they've saved and invested really well. They have about $3 million. You can see they're on track for about $5 million plus dollars. What happened in their planning, and a lot of these assumptions, by the way, guys, just know they wanted to spend $6,000 a month, planning to retire in about 3 years, planning to live till 90. So this might not be your individual situation, but the reason I'm showing you this is we planned on them buying a new RV for $150,000. And it would create $520,000 fewer dollars over the course of their lifetime. So that is a big deal, okay? Why am I showing it this way? Guys, do you still see how they're more than okay? So I'm going to now show you guys 5 RVs because I have a client that thought this would be a fun video for me. So I'm really recording it for them. If you think this is a fun idea, let me know in the comments because you're about to see some funny things. But this, what if they said, you know what, we're only going to buy the RV for $50,000? You can see they're going to have way more money. That makes a very small impact. But the reality is they don't have strong legacy goals. So look at how much money they're on track for. $6 million plus dollars at 98. That's not their goal. So if they want to really dream big, what if they bought an RV for $250,000? Could they afford it? Yes. Does that make a big difference to the plan? Yes. But what's the goal? How much is too much? Now, in their case, there needs to be more planning, talk about long-term care, health care, vacations, weddings, home remodel. So there's more to this, but this is getting you to think about it in an intentional way. Now, what I'm going to do for you guys now, I've been very excited trying to prepare for this. I will be honest with everyone here. I am not an RV expert, okay? I'm still learning. I know more about them than I ever thought I would know about them just because this is what I'm doing with clients often who bring this up. So I'm pulling up on my screen behind me. You can see it right here. These are 5 different RVs. Now I have prices, and when I was talking to my clients and doing research about them, I was laughing because I was looking at some of these going, are people really buying these? But some people are. So here's my biggest ask before I go through these different examples here with my commentary, okay? My biggest ask is if you've bought an RV, if there's one you really love, or if there's insight you have on the RV buying process, I'm not the expert. My other videos where I talk about tax planning, estate planning, healthcare, look, I believe I'm the expert with those. Not for this. Go in the comments and tell me, what RV did you buy? Did it work well? Did it break down? Did you go to national parks? What was it like trying to park? There are a lot of people who need help on this. So please let me know in the comments and let others know primarily. Okay, so this one, the Forest River Rockwood Freedom 164 LTD, okay? This one is pricing around $10,000 to $15,000. I'm looking at this going, okay, who is going to want this? I'm just being honest, okay? I'm a very honest guy. I just went to images, okay? I'm looking at these photos going, look, this looks like, I call it ROH, return on hassle. What is the hassle on this? This looks like you want to park and no one really wants this. Now, I understand everyone's finances are different, and I recognize some people go, this is really what we want, but I don't believe them, okay? So that is number one. That is the pop-up camper, Forest River. That's $10,000 to $15,000. If my same clients over here that I just showed you guys a minute ago, if they said, Ari, we're buying this Forest River, whatever it's called, for $15,000, I'd say you better love it, because the reality is financially, it's not going to make a big difference whether you get that or not. You will be fine, okay? Now, the next one, this is a small travel trailer, the Scamp 16 Deluxe, okay? You see this one right here? So this tows behind your car. I've had a few clients get this. I had one client that say they loved it. I said, really? More than one that would be like 40 or 50,000 a year? They said, yes. I said, why? One word. Ready? Smelly. Okay. They said, I love that the smell is not connected to my normal RV that I used to have. I said, what are you normally doing that smells? And they're like, my husband's not the best chef. I go, okay, I'm not going to dive into that conversation, but this is the Scamp 16 Deluxe. I think it looks kind of cool. Once again, here's someone that if you want to really watch a video, he's going to be able to give you more insight on it. Looks a little tight to me, but you know, that is $20,000 to $25,000, perfect for couples or solo travelers. That's what Google says. Okay, the next one here, now we're moving up. 140 to 160,000 a year. This was the one my client wanted. Now, I'll pull up a photo that maybe I'll put in the comments later. Actually, I can't drop a photo in the comments. Maybe I'll put it in our community because we have a free community. But this to me is more living. This is what I would think I'd want to drive around in if I was in an RV. This is 140 to 160,000, a Winnebago Travato. Okay, so that's a Class B camper van. The next one, the Grand Design Reflection 303 RLS. Okay, so this one, I have a client that got this one as well. This one is bigger. I'm looking here though. It's towable trailer, 70 to 90,000. That's what this one's going for, 70 to 90,000. And then the final one I want to show, this is a Tiffin. This is a Class A motorhome, $250,000 to $350,000. I mean, this looks like a mini house. I mean, this is wild. Look at that image right there. That is something. So all of these options, guys, you could tell I'm not an RV expert by any means, but I talk to a lot of clients about this. What I'm really doing, as you can imagine, is I don't want someone to go buy an RV that they're like, look, it's okay, but they really don't like it. And now they're not really enjoying their retirement. So all of this to say, financially, first run the numbers. See, hey, what am I in a position to do? If this person, for example, we'll just play around for a second. Let's pretend they didn't have 2.9 million and they had 1.9 million, okay? And we go back to the retirement tab and we click on comparison here. Now let's pretend they wanted to buy an RV and they wanted to buy it for $250,000. They wanted the super nice Class A motorhome, okay? Guys, you see, that makes a big difference on their plan. If they were to buy that, then all of a sudden, instead of having 2.8 at the end, they'd have 1.1. I'd go, guys, that's a big deal. If we look at like what's that withdrawal rate percentage, guys, they might have to take out 6.7% of their portfolio. Now the question is, what year would they do that? Would they do that while they're still working? Would they do that right now? Ideally, they would do it before they retire, or else that's a big expense in retirement. But I'd say that's probably too much of a dent. Now, let's pretend they put 150,000. Okay. Still, that's going to be a big difference, 800,000 fewer dollars, but they're still on track for 2 million at the end. So that doesn't alarm me nearly as much. So first, run the scenarios. Now, what if they want to do a remodel and weddings and take more vacations and have bigger long-term care or spend more? Then obviously not in a position. So run the numbers, but from an RV perspective, I ask my clients, I go, dream big. And let's pretend this couple said, Ari, nope, 250, I need the best RV in the world. Pretend they just said that for a second. I'd say, guys, I want you to have an amazing RV also. We're on the same page. Remember, it's us versus the problem. It's never me versus client. It's me and client versus RV. RV is problem that we want to obviously solve. So if this was what they said they want, I'd say, guys, that's totally cool. I'm going to need you to work 2 more years, because now what that's going to do is that's going to largely offset the costs, not entirely, but in a bigger way. Or if they work 2 more years so that they can buy that dream RV, if they say, Ari, that's so I can live my dream life, I'd go, great, then let's do that option. If they were to say, I don't like if 150,000, we'd rather retire earlier, not work 2 more years so that we could spend time traveling. And yeah, maybe it's not the, whatever the last one was called, maybe it's not the Tiffin Allegro RED, but if we're in the Winnebago Travato, that's still good enough for us. Okay, then that's totally cool. So wanted to make sure you guys kind of, one, know how do I go through the process to identify, is it worth it? You use a software to help illustrate the value of making a move. So that's why I like using this. But I also thought some of you guys just might laugh at maybe how I describe and how silly and stupid I sound talking about these RVs, since I really have no idea what I'm talking about. But come on, does someone really want to live in this? Look, I'm just not a camper, okay? I'm more of a glamper vibe. I'm also barely even that. I just play soccer on the weekends. If you get me a fruit cup on the side of the road, I'm happy, okay? But I get, like, my fiance, we get married in a few months now. When we get married, we want to go across country. So I'm starting to look into, okay, what RVs would we rent? We don't want to buy one, but we want to rent one to go across the country. Then we're going to fly back. So we're now looking into, okay, what should we do? What level of comfort? I'm personally going to be the one doing all of the driving. So I'm looking at it going like, okay, driving and setup, I'm looking at this going, I am the least handy person in the world. So guys, hopefully you laughed and thought this video was informative. If you're, once again, new to the channel, most of my videos are not like this. I'm mainly going over case studies or tax strategies or other things where I sound way more competent. Hopefully this was a nice change of pace. Thanks, guys.